Welcome to my project that is going to examine how building homes in the desert affects the ecosystem of the owl and the mouse here in the Southwest. I started out by looking at a ecosystem between the barn owl, desert mouse, and mesquite bean here in the desert. Unfortunately, in Phoenix, home construction is up 15%, and we are the fastest growing city behind Houston, Texas. This means that many of our natural desert is being overtaken by homes and shopping centers. And obviously, this is affecting many ecosystems, but I'm going to take a look in particular at the barn owl and mouse ecosystem and try and see what this means for this ecosystem and what species we're going to see go extinct first as we remove the mesquite trees to build homes. As I set up this model, you'll see that I made a graph, and the graph has on it a line for both the mouse, houses, and owls. And it's going to be based on a time clock on which houses are being built in the desert. The hardest part that I had building this was trying to figure out a way to build the houses that was not really dependent upon the amount of owls or mice. I didn't really want it based on a collision. I tried several different things. I was almost relished to just having a push button and pushing every 10 ticks, 20 ticks, 30 ticks, whatever I wanted to examine for the time to pass, but really wanted somebody to be able to turn this on and have it run without making that push button. So I did a little bit of research and found that I could set a trait to time passing, and I use this time passing to trigger the building of a home. You'll see here that when I put my time passing to 50, it's going to call build, and build will create one home starting with a time passing of 0. My favorite agent that I built is the owl, and the owl has a lot going on, which is why I really like this agent. It, of course, flies, but the unique parts about the owl is it also, if you look down here, I made a procedure to chase the mice. So it will actually follow the nearest mouse within 10 steps. My mouse on turn is going away from the owl, if you look at the mouse's code. And on collision with a house, it will be deleted. Also, on collision with a mice, it will increase its predator's energy. Taking a look at my model, sorry, this is loading a little slow. When I run the model, I think it's right now set to time passing of 50 for the houses. You're going to see the starting with one house, and my owl is going to go around, and it's chasing the mice and reproducing as it chases the mice. Any mice that run into the house are in turn dying, and as we start to see the mesquite beans are getting eaten up by the mice, our owls are reproducing as they eat up those mesquite beans. And as urban sprawl happens, it takes longer for these mesquite beans to reproduce because there's not as much space for them to do so. It looks like we might have our mice go extinct. We did. We have mice went extinct at about 180 ticks because they ran out of mesquite beans to eat. In turn, the owls went extinct, which is pretty much what I found out every time, that the species are going to go extinct, even without the urban sprawl. I feel like that's kind of a flaw of this platform. I haven't found really good energy levels to keep an ecosystem going for an extended amount of time. Let's see, going back here. How do I get back into? There we go. Some faults in my model were that the ecosystem was somewhat unbalanced, and eventually all the mice and owls will go extinct at any level, no matter how fast the urban sprawl occurs. And this is something that I've really had a difficult time. I've played with lots of different energy levels and tried to even this out, but haven't had super success with that. Still am able to get good data, but eventually I have extinction happen. Another problem that I saw was that the homes multiply exponentially. So if I have them multiplying too quickly, eventually my desert's going to become completely full of homes, and we're going to get our poor little agents stuck in between the urban sprawl. Another thing I could do to increase this model and make it a little bit more complex is to give the owl a predator. Owls don't have a lot of predators, but yes, they do have some predators out there, and that would probably slow down the hunting of our mice as the urban sprawl progresses. When I collected my data, I like to take screenshots so I can go back and examine the graphs, which I feel are my best tool as far as looking at data. And I record my graphs and compare my mean, median, mode of our different animals to decide what my outcome is. Looking at this model, I'm looking at the median growth in the three models and found out that the mice will always go extinct first. I really feel I need a better energy balance between the mesquite bean and the mouse so that the mouse is not running out of mesquite beans even before the houses are built. Owls are going to live the longest, but with the slower building, they eventually will go extinct as well. And urban sprawl will destroy the ecosystem of both the owl and our mouse. So we need to be careful and save our deserts so that urban sprawl is not destroying this ecosystem. Thank you.